Your green beans can sprout beautifully, grow rows of perfect little plants, and still quit on you at 92 degrees.
I'm Grant, Fiona's here, and this is Rude Insect.
Today we're talking summer green beans, which feels unfair because beans are supposed to like warmth. Warm soil, quick germination, happy seedlings, and then July shows up with a heat lamp.
They like warmth. They do not like blooming in a brick oven. That's the distinction people miss.
And I have missed it. Which brings us to Grant's garden mistake. One year I planted bush beans in June. Felt like a genius because every seed popped up. And then I watched them hit flowering right during a week of 90-plus afternoons. Flowers everywhere, pods nowhere. I kept saying, maybe tomorrow. The plants were basically saying, no, Grant, we are ornamental now.
That's the classic timing trap. Bush beans may only need about 50 to 60 days from seed to harvest, and pole beans often need 60 to 70. But you have to count when they'll be flowering, not just when they'll finish.
So if I sow in June, I'm accidentally scheduling the most delicate part for peak summer misery.
Exactly. In a Zone 6B garden, a better rhythm is usually a spring sowing after the soil is truly warm, often mid to late May, then a second sowing around mid-July if the forecast isn't ridiculous. Some years, late July can work for fast bush beans, but I would not gamble on slow pole beans that late unless you enjoy suspense.
I do enjoy suspense.
You enjoy suspense until frost is coming and your bean vines are just thinking about contributing.
Fair. So the real strategy is spring crop, heat gap, fall crop?
That's the clean version. Don't expect peak production when your garden is regularly above 90 degrees. You can keep plants alive, but flower drop gets much more likely. Then you sow again, so blooming happens as nights cool down.
And if someone gardens hotter than us?
Their fall window may come later. If they're in a short season area, they may need to start earlier and use shade. Count backward from the average first frost and add a cushion, because seed packet math assumes polite weather.
Let's talk symptoms, because I've definitely blamed bees before.
Beans are self-pollinating, so bees usually aren't the main culprit. In heat stress, flowers open and then drop within a day or two. New growth slows. Leaves fold or droop in afternoon sun. Lower leaves may yellow, especially if watering has been uneven. And any pods that do form might be short, curled, or tough.
The afternoon droop always scares me. I see a bean plant wilting at 3 p.m. and immediately act like I'm in a medical drama.
Midday wilting is not always an emergency. If it perks up after sunset, it may just be protecting itself. If it's still wilted at breakfast, that's a problem.
So don't water by panic. Check the soil.
Yes. Put a finger down 2 to 3 inches, not just into the dusty top crust. If it's dry down there, water deeply. If it's soggy, don't keep adding water. Beans hate wet feet.
Raised beds make this trickier, right? They warm up fast, which is nice in spring, but then they dry out fast.
They do. Mulch helps even out moisture. So does drip irrigation, or a slow soak instead of spraying the leaves for 10 seconds and calling it done. You want steady moisture where the roots are.
What about shade? I used to think shading vegetables meant I had failed as a gardener.
That is nonsense.
Strongly stated.
Afternoon shade can save a bean crop. Even a temporary shade cloth during the worst heat, especially from early afternoon onward, can reduce stress. You're not trying to grow beans in a cave. You're trying to take the edge off the brutal sun when temperatures are pushing into the 90s.
Varieties. People want to know if there's a magic bean.
There isn't. No green bean loves endless 95-degree days, no matter how cheerful the packet sounds. But some handle stress better. Blue Lake 274 bush beans are a solid place to start for a summer or fall sowing because they're dependable, fairly quick, and widely adapted.
So not invincible, but less dramatic.
Less dramatic is a gardening victory.
And soil matters too. I remember that contractor screened topsoil bed we had. Looked fine, turned into pottery after rain.
The beans yellowed, stalled, and produced about 2 sad handfuls. Cheap soil can become expensive when it ruins the crop. Beans want decent drainage, not a swamp and not a brick.
Okay, Fiona's 30-second verdict. Can you grow green beans in summer heat?
Maybe. If your beans will bloom during steady 90-plus weather, don't expect much, even if the plants look alive. Yes, you can improve your odds by planting so bloom happens before or after peak heat, using afternoon shade during heat waves and keeping moisture steady 2 to 3 inches down. For me, I'd sow Blue Lake 274 bush beans for the fall window before I'd force a slow pole bean into July heat.
So the plan is stop planning by hope, count the days, respect the forecast, shade when the sun gets mean, and water the root zone instead of the dust.
That's more mature than your usual plan.
I'm evolving, slowly, like a pole bean planted too late. If this helped, hit subscribe. We drop 3 new episodes every week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you don't have to hunt for the next one.
Thank you for listening to this edition of RudeInsect.com, Conversations with Grant and Fiona.